Welcome, everyone, to AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling. Aubrey Edwards and Tony Schiavone here with you today on this lovely Thursday morning, or Monday morning, I guess, if you're watching on YouTube. How you doing, Tony?
I'm great, Aubrey. It's great to be with you as always. It's great to be a part of AEW. Some exciting times for us, as you know, and just love the summertime, and I'm sure you do in Seattle as well.
Oh yeah, it's we're actually getting summer starting this weekend, so yeah, it's nice. It's cool. Always scheduled around 4th of July. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Seattle. I want to talk about our awesome guest today, Kiera, who I think I first met you during the pandemic. You were driving up with Diamante from Miami and like doing makeup casually in the locker room, and your own makeup always looks so phenomenal. So how did you just end up coming up with her and, you know, chilling, whatever? Like how did the drives up start?
Yeah, so she started at AEW, and then I was like, I want to go. Like, it's in Jacksonville. That doesn't seem like a far drive. I definitely want to go and hang out. Like, I have friends in the locker room, and I definitely was kind of envious because she seemed like she was having so much fun. And I was like, I want to go have fun. I was working like once a month, and I was like, oh, I want to go have fun and be around wrestling. So I just ended up doing the drives all through the pandemic, as many as I could.
You made your AEW debut in 2021 against Shida on AEW Dark. When did you find out your first match would be against Shida?
I found out
10 minutes before, right?
Pretty much.
Something like
it's
that.
Pretty much the standard.
Yeah. But I was really excited because I was like, wow, this is my first match with AEW. That's definitely a banger. And we definitely had a banger.
Yeah. No question.
It was very good, very good. And it was great. It was one of our first shows back on the road. So it was like, oh, man, this is just excellent. We had Kiera hanging out with us, and now she's back on the road with us. Absolutely phenomenal, just because I love like the bright, shiny personality that you bring to our locker room. So anyway, I'm just going to like put you over constantly on this podcast. So welcome to Monday mornings, whatever day we're recording this. So recently you've joined up with Jade Cargill and Red Velvet, the Baddies. I personally love all of your social media, all of the dances you guys do together and whatnot. I want you to talk a little bit about the chemistry you have with that group.
Oh man, literally it's been so organic, just the whole process, us joining Jade and being the Baddies, everything has happened so organically and it's been great. Like, I feel like we've had instant chemistry. Even when I was just coming to Jacksonville, I was always like talking to Jade and Steph Red.
Right.
Whatever.
I got it.
Red and we just hit it off immediately. And, you know, I know Red's a dancer, so I was like, we should do TikToks together. She was doing her own TikTok and I was doing my own. And I think we were doing Fan Fest for Revolution, and that was the first TikTok I did with Red, and it got so much traction. I was like, I think people really like these collabs. And then of course I got with the Baddies, and then the collabs just started rolling in, and that's our thing now.
You really have the only female faction in AEW. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's the Jericho Appreciation Society, there's the Combat Club, but the Baddies really the only female faction in AEW. So that has to mean a lot.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, I think we are a force to be reckoned with, honestly. Like, I feel like we are definitely like a threat, honestly. Like, we all bring so much different, like, diversity from each one of us, but together we're even stronger.
I love that you all have sort of a different style of wrestling as well. So you all bring something different to the table when it comes to matches, whether it's a tag or a singles format. Just absolutely, absolutely great. So Dynamite, June 1st at the Forum. You were, what was it like being a part of that show? Because I know that and also in Rampage, you got to be Athena's first match in AEW. So that was kind of an exciting week.
Oh, yeah. I was honestly not expecting to go into California with a banger. Like, I was really excited. Diamante's been telling me about the Forum. She was like, do you know where we are? We're at the Forum. I want to wrestle at the Forum. I was like, I would love to do something at the Forum. And I happened to, step up to Athena. And honestly, it's a match that's been meaning to happen. And I've been wanting to wrestle her for a few years now. We had a tryout together back in the day, and ever since then I was like, hey, I definitely want to wrestle her. So I'm glad we got to do it on Rampage, and it was her first match, and honestly I would do it over and over and over again because she was an amazing competitor.
It was a great match. It really was. And talk about that match. You had Baddies at ringside cheering you on, and I'm sure that impacts your performance when you've got a cheering squad. But were you nervous? I mean, like you said, you and Athena had started at the same time. You at the Forum. Any nerves for that?
Oh, most definitely. One, I was really nervous about the O-Face because I know that's her signature. I know that's like finish, and I was so nervous. That's the one thing I was super nervous about. But honestly, like I feel like going into that match, I was more in my head about just wanting to do good and just, bring out the inner baddie and the hottest flame and just be that, because I feel like I don't wrestle as often. So when I do get the chance to wrestle, I try to show out as much as I can. And having my hype team behind me just made it all the more better. So once I got in the ring and the red lights were on, nerves were gone.
Oh, yeah. You dropped it a little bit there, the hottest flame, and I actually wanted to touch on that a little bit. So you've got this blue and red hair, you've got the blue and red ring gear, and you're the hottest flame, Kiera Hogan, period. And before that, you were sort of the girl on fire. Like, talk a little bit about the evolution of sort of that character from one company to the next.
I love that you asked this question because I feel like nobody ever asks this question. And I feel like people get so confused. They're like, you're still a girl on fire. I'm like, no, listen. So I was the girl on fire because I felt like when I first started, I had all this energy and passion. I felt like fire was my inner passion and my determination. And I felt like I was the girl on fire. I'm lit, I'm hot, but I'm also happy to be here. I'm the cute little baby face. I'm happy to be here. After a few years and, being with Impact, I was like transforming. And then I came out and I felt more comfortable with myself and more confident. And I felt like the girl was the girl. And I was a woman and I was a confident woman. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the hottest flame. I'm the hottest. I'm the most confident. I'm the baddest, I just feel like that exudes my confidence being the hottest flame. So the transition is just from the girl to the woman. And that's it.
You're just growing up in front of our eyes.
Exactly. That's it,
Kiera Hogan is your real name. And a lot of times in wrestling, we do not use our real names.
What?
Did people try to talk? Well, yes, I do.
What's that, Noah?
Okay, so anyway, did people try to talk to you into using a character name when you were getting started, or how did that all
Yes,
happen?
so when I was at Impact, I got discovered at a Shine show, and Gail Kim was like, hey, I don't think you could use the last name Hogan. Why don't you come up with some different names? And I was like, oh, okay. I figured maybe it was going to happen, but I was coming up with some names. Nothing really fit. And then my first Impact show, when I saw like my video screen, it said Kiera Hogan. And I was like, I thought you guys said, and they were like, no, we like your name. It's you. It fits you. And I was like, it's my name. So I'm glad that it fits me. But
right.
I feel like keeping my name was very important to me because I started off in wrestling. I will be in the wrestling business 10 years next year, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
Congratulations.
I started off, thank you. I started off as an interviewer and a ring announcer when I wrestled at WWA 4 and when I did like PWX in North Carolina. I did that for a couple of years. And then I was like, I think it'll be cool to see the transition from me doing that to now getting in the ring.
You've also,
very cool.
You've also won a number of championships too in your past. Impact Knockout Tag Team Champion, Tag Team Champions a couple of times, right?
Two-time
Knockout Champ.
Oh yeah, I loved being in Fire and Flavor. Me and Tasha Steelz,
right?
The former Knockouts champion now. But honestly, again, that was something that was super organic. It happened during the pandemic. Tasha got hired during the pandemic. I had been pushing to get them to bring her in because I felt like we could do like a faction or a team or something. So when they brought her in, they kind of threw us together and we didn't really have any idea. But again, it happened so organically and we grew and we got more ideas. And it just happened the way that it happened. And honestly, we had awesome chemistry. So it was a dream working with her, honestly.
One of the things I wanted to touch on today, because I find you a very inspirational representative of the LGBTQ plus community. And what does it mean for you to be out in wrestling and being proud and talking about who it is you actually are to the world?
I literally live by just be yourself. That's what I live by. You can't hide who you are. You can't let people determine what you do or how you do it, because at the end of the day, you have to live your life for yourself. And at one point in my life, I was like, I'm not happy. Like, and I don't know if it's because I'm hiding who I am from everybody, from the world. Not that anybody deserves to know, but I felt like I wasn't confident being myself. And then, dating Diamante kind of helped bring that confidence out of me to be like, you know what? I love who I am. My girlfriend loves who I am. My family loves who I am. Like, why should I be afraid to hide who I am? And right. I literally have Aspire to Inspire tattooed on my arm, because I literally just want to inspire people to be themselves, because I've had so many people, so many women, so many wrestlers, my mother, like people have inspired me to just be myself. And I just hope that I'm able to inspire others to just live your best life.
Great answer, and great thing to live by. I can tell you that. Be yourself, right? Be proud of yourself, who you are. No question about it. We're talking to Kiera Hogan. We're going to go back and talk about her beginnings in wrestling and why she wanted to be a pro wrestler when we continue on AEW Unrestricted. AEW Unrestricted continues. Tony and Aubrey talking with Kiera Hogan, one of our baddies, one of our great young ladies, really, backstage in AEW. You wanted to wrestle since age 16, we understand. What made you want to pursue pro wrestling?
So me and my best friend in high school, we were obsessed with wrestling. When I say obsessed, people thought we were weird because we were so obsessed. I used to write my own storylines for wrestling. Like, I used to write fan fictions and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm so into wrestling. It's so interesting. Like, it's a mix of entertainment and athleticism and theatrics. Like, I was just so drawn to it from a very young age. My dad and my brother were watching it and they got me into it. And then I found friends through school that were into it, and I got a few of my friends into it. But I was like, talking to my best friend one day, and I was like, I feel like I think I want to be a wrestler. Like, I think that's something that I could really do and really put all my time and energy, passion into. And she was like, yeah, we should do that. I was the only one that did it. Right out of high school. Like, before I even graduated, I went to my first indie show at WWA 4, and Mr. Hughes was like, hey, I heard you want to be a wrestler. And I was like, yeah. He was like, well, we need a backstage interviewer. Would you want to be the interviewer? I was like, sure. And that was before I even got into the ring. Like, he presented me with a lot of opportunities to at least get my foot in the door, because he knew I wanted to be there, which was great. But yeah, I've ever since, like, even my best friend from high school, she follows me on Twitter, and she always comments, and she's like, I'm so proud of you. We were both very huge fans of Mickie James, like me and her together. We went to her concerts, we went to meet and greets, we went to all kinds of things. And she's like, I'm just so proud of you, because you finally were able to do something that you said you were going to do so many years ago. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate it.
So before we get on to talking about Mickie James, I wanted to ask, like, because you kind of dropped in there, you have some fan fiction. Do you have any, like, particularly great fan fiction stories, or any particularly really bad ones that you want to share?
I mean, first of all, I think my, like, username was like Team Edward 94 or something, because I was a huge Twilight fan. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I wrote storylines about Mickie. I wrote stories about, like, I did like a Twilight wrestling crossover. Oh my god. It honestly, like, reading it, and Diamante has read it too. She's like, these are so good.
Just publish them in a book.
I mean, honestly, I used to that I feel like writing used to be my escape. That and wrestling were my escape, and doing makeup. Like, I used to be a kid that was just to herself, always in her head, but very creative. So I felt like writing got all my creativity out, and I would write for hours just about anything to just get it out. So I feel like I need to get back to that, because man, that holds a very special place in my heart.
We're talking with Kiera Hogan. Kiera, you mentioned Mickie James. You call her your idol. What was it about Mickie James that drew you to her, and your best friend as well?
I could just tell through the screen from a young age that she was just authentically being herself, no matter what. And of course, like her doing the storyline with Trish, I was so intrigued because she was just so versatile. Like, I felt like she was so complex, and then she was a face, and I was like, oh my God, she just seemed like she was always herself, and she never changed for anybody. She was always just Mickie James from Virginia. And I could attest to that because I felt like I could be myself because of that. Like, I'm like, okay, she can make it. She was herself the whole time, and she's still so down to earth. Like, it amazes me to see people like that. Not that there aren't a lot of people like that, but she's just one of the most down-to-earth women on this planet, I swear. And I've always just been drawn to her wrestling style and the way that she would sell crazy and things like that. I was just so interested in her in general. But a lot of the divas from back in the day, like Melina, Victoria, I was super into them. But I remember when the divas started getting really short matches, I was like, this is kind of weird. And my cousin was like, oh, there's this other wrestling company called TNA. And I was like, really? There's another wrestling company? So he showed me, and I was hooked because all the women were different. None of them looked the same. They all did crazy things. They were in these crazy matches. And I feel like they were taking women's wrestling to the next level before it was even a thing. So I was super into the knockout. So then to become a knockout, it was like a dream come true. My life works in mysterious ways. I feel like my life is so full circle, honestly. Like, I feel like I put a lot of things out in the universe, and sooner than later, or, if I'm very patient with myself, I get them in return.
Speaking of full circle, you got to wrestle Mickie James recently. And how was that experience for you?
I honestly, like, when I knew she was coming back to like the Indies and NWA, I was like, oh my God, I think this is going to be my chance. I think I'm going to finally get to wrestle her. Because when she went back to, WWE, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to get to wrestle her. Maybe she'll retire, and, putting all these negative thoughts in my head. But when she got back to the Indies, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going to wrestle her. I think I'm going to get a chance. And then she started working with NWA. And Billy was like, hey, I want you to wrestle Mickie. And I was like, are you serious? You're not kidding, right? And he's like, no, you're going to wrestle her. And I was like, okay, oh my God, this is really happening. And the first match we had was like, just working with her was so great and effortless. Like, the way that she works is so effortless. Like, of course, she's a professional. She's a vet. She knows this game. Like, but working with her, she's one of those people I will work 10 times over. And then I had the Knockouts championship match with her after I left Impact, which was amazing. I'm so blessed that they even gave me the opportunity to go for the Knockouts title, because when I was with Impact, I never got a chance to go for the title. So to have that match with Mickie, or for her to even suggest that I be the one to wrestle her at NWA for the title, was, again, just full circle. I was like, I cannot believe this. Like, this is really happening. And of course, I was super emotional because it's a dream come true. I used to write about things like this. I used to journal and write and hope and dream and pray for one day, and to just finally have it be a reality is still so crazy to me.
Kiera, you touched on that you did train with Mr. Hughes in WWA4. How did you find WWA4? I don't know if you answered that or not. How did you hook into that?
So I'm originally from Atlanta, and A4 is located in Atlanta.
Right.
So one day, again, I think I might have been by myself. I just Googled wrestling schools because I knew you had to go to wrestling school. And I think I was going to go, I was like researching going to FCW, but I didn't have the money. I didn't have a job. My parents weren't going to let me move to Florida. So that was out of the question. So I was like, wrestling schools in Atlanta. WWA4 was the first one to pop up. The first one. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go check it out. And, I had some friends that I had online friends that I was close with that were going to WWA for. And they were like, why don't you come to a show? And I was like, okay. So I went to one show and I was hooked. I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to go. And training with Mr. Hughes was amazing. I honestly miss it so, so much because he really drilled the foundation of wrestling into his students. And I feel like that's really important. Like he really made sure we understood everything that we were getting taught, and we would do it 10 times over. And then of course on Thursday nights, we would do a free show where we got to, have matches and get our character out and get footage so that then we can promote ourselves. Like it just ran really well when he was the head trainer. And I definitely miss him, and I miss the old A4. I know AR Fox is now the head trainer at A4. But I miss the old days. They were great.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's always that nostalgia aspect that's like, oh man, I loved it back when XYZ. You mentioned you got your start doing backstage interviewing and ring announcing, and you're training to wrestle. Like, when did that transition happen and how did it happen?
So I was 2 years into interviewing and announcing. And at the time I was, like I said, traveling a lot, just back and forth to North Carolina for announcing and interviewing jobs. And I was like, I like doing this, but this isn't fulfilling my heart the way that I know what I want. Like, I know I want to wrestle. And I told Brian, the owner of PWX, I was like, hey, I'm going to start wrestling training. Like, I just cut off doing announcing and interviewing because I was like, I want to focus all of my energy on training and getting my first match. And I was working with the company called AWE. I always get it mixed up because it's the same.
Right.
Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment was
just swap it a little bit.
Right. I was like, just swap it. Don't get it confused. I was working with the company, my home company, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, and they wanted me to have my first match like maybe a year or so into my training. And I was like, okay. But for Hughes, you had to pass your 5-minute match to even start doing shows. So he wouldn't even let you go out if you were just training. You had to pass a 5-minute match before you could go start promoting yourself and putting his name out there, which honestly I applaud because, again, he just made sure that we understood what we were doing and how we were doing it. And then he would take us on the road. And when I finally started getting into wrestling and doing matches, he would take us on the road, have us be on shows with him. We would travel with him. And he would show us the ropes and how to do things. So like I said, just one day I was like, I'm done being an announcer and interviewer, and I want to be a wrestler now. And I trained for a year, maybe like 4 or 5 days out of the week. I was working and doing wrestling training and going to shows on the weekend. So I was hustling. I was trying so hard to get my name out there as fast as I could.
And First Lady of Atlanta, as we mentioned earlier, was your first character. How did that all develop?
So, of course, we were in Atlanta, and I think Love and Hip Hop was really hot at the time. And Josh Wheeler, the owner or one of the owners of AWE, he was like, I think you could be like the First Lady of Atlanta. And my boyfriend at the time, he had like this parental advisory kind of like gimmick where he was kind of like, I guess, kind of extra, I guess would be the term. They were like, you could be the First Lady of Atlanta. Like, this is your city. Like, you're the First Lady. And I was like, okay. I mean, I know there's other First Ladies in wrestling, but I'll be the First Lady of Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be you. It's got to be. You eventually make your way to Impact, and you're 2-time Impact Knockouts champion tag team with Tasha Steelz. Talk about the relationship and working with Tasha.
Oh, man. So Tasha had done, I think, one Impact show when we were at the 2300 arena. It was a battle royal. And a lot of the girls in the locker room were putting her over, like telling Gail and telling Scott, like, you need to get this girl. You need to get this girl. Like I said, of course, they waited until the pandemic. Well, we had a show in Atlanta and Tasha showed up. I think she cut a promo backstage and everybody was watching. And then everything got shut down and they called her in. So I think they would have ended up calling her in regardless. But of course, the pandemic happened and a lot of people weren't traveling into work. There was literally barely anybody at Impact like that first time we did it. I think it was maybe 5 girls, I think. So they just threw us together. They were like, hey, you and Tasha are going to be a team. And I was like, okay, cool. Because this is what I wanted. I had pitched for me and Tasha to be a team, or I pitched for a faction of women that I felt like were going to be strong and a force to be reckoned with. And me and Tasha just happened to be right place, right time. And like I said, it just happened organically. Everything we did was just us being ourselves. Like I said, we were just ourselves. We didn't plan anything. We didn't practice anything. None of our promos, nothing. We were like, okay, this is it. Let's do it. Like, and our interests. I just had so much fun, like, teaming with her. Cause like I said, I just felt like I could be my hype self. Like I am in the locker room. I just got to be hype outside of that. So I love working with her.
What prompted you to leave Impact Wrestling? Talk about the timing of that.
So I was with Impact for 4 years,
okay,
which is so crazy that I was there for 4 years. And I started there kind of young, and I felt like I had developed myself really well in the 4 years that I was there. But I just felt like I felt like I was being impatient, but I also felt like I wasn't getting the credit that I should have been given because I was giving them so much to work with. I was like, I literally changed my whole gimmick. Nobody asked me, nobody questioned me. And I finally get to this point where I'm confident and I still feel like I'm not getting what I want. And what I really wanted was a chance for the Knockouts title. That's what I wanted. And I felt like there was so much happening. Mickie was coming in. There were other girls coming in. And I didn't want to get pushed on the back burner again because I felt like a lot of the times I was getting put on the back burner. And I was just like, I feel like right now I'm confident in myself to put myself out there and go see what other opportunities I have, especially because I'm still young. I'm hot. I'm coming off a huge title win or whatever the case may be. And I was like, I feel like I could do more. I know in my heart I can do more. So that's when I was like, I've been to AEW a few times. I love the locker room. I love what they're putting out. I love the energy that's there. Mm-hmm. And I really want to be a part. So here I am.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to be hanging out with your girlfriend backstage.
I mean, that's a plus.
Right.
Right. I personally appreciate every time that we get to see Blaze, your dog. Like, what a cutie. And also, so well behaved. So thank you so much.
Oh, he's the best. He's literally an angel. Do you know we found him with that name? We didn't name him that. We found him on a corgi, Facebook page. Somebody had commented and was like, I have this puppy. This lady gave a deposit for the puppy, but she didn't end up wanting the puppy, and he's the last one. His name is Blaze. And I was like, oh, he's
Match made in heaven.
That's
Match made in heaven.
That's our boy. We found him. He found us, and he's literally an angel. He's so, you can hear him barking because I'm talking about him. Yep. But yeah, he's an angel. He's the best.
He's absolutely great. We're talking to Kiera Hogan here on AEW Unrestricted. And coming up next, we've got fan questions. This is AEW Unrestricted. Tony and Aubrey here with Kiera and Blaze. Such a wonderful puppy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at this dog. He's so great. Tony, you didn't get a chance to hang out with him because Blaze is just hanging out with all the ladies in the locker room.
Yeah.
Getting the ball thrown constantly, and by the end of the day, he's just passed the fuck out in the middle of the floor.
Oh, he loves it. Ball is life. Literally, ball is life.
So good. Such a great dog. All right. We got fan questions. First off, good old Nate. How did you go from wrestling Jade Cargill at the United Center to joining up with her in the Baddies?
I think that I am an opportunist. And I saw an opportunity for something big because, again, I feel like us together would have been a threat, and it is. And I saw that before it even happened. I was like, could you imagine if me, Jade, and I saw, Red was turning heel? I was like, it couldn't have been more perfect. It literally couldn't have been more perfect. And, I just saw an opportunity, and honestly, it's worked out for the best. So, yeah, she beat me that one time. Got to keep it in the back of my head, but we killing things right now, and that's all that matters.
Agent Great P1 on Twitter, that's Agent Great P1, also thinks that they're a booker, and they want to know, do you see you and Red Velvet going through the forbidden door and maybe challenging for a women's tag team title somewhere?
I mean, that would definitely be great. Could you imagine me and Velvet as the NWA Tag Team Champions or the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions? Or we'll be all the Tag Team Champions, honestly, because baddies do it better, period.
There you go. Just belt collectors. There you go. That's all we need. Yeah. All right. We have a question from West Coast Pop. Going from a fan to a pro, is there anything you do to celebrate with each of your milestones?
I don't have a particular way to celebrate. I just try to live in the moment. I'm really bad about taking pictures and videos, and I want to get better about that because, you know.
Dude, me too.
Oh my God. I always forget to take pictures and videos, especially traveling so much, but I love living in the moment, and I don't like pulling out my phone or being when I'm especially around people. I just want to be in that moment. So when I do go home and settle down and turn it off, I try to relive what I went through, and then I let all my emotions out. Or, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm a Virgo, so sometimes I let it out, but sometimes I can hold it in.
Alex wants to know, what's your favorite movie, Kiera, of all time that you can rewatch over and over?
Oh, movie that I can rewatch over and over. So like I said, I'm a twihard, so probably all of the Twilight movies, but also I'm a huge fan of Kristen Stewart. So The Runaways is definitely a good movie that I know I can watch over and over and over again.
What's your favorite Twilight film?
It would have to be Eclipse or Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I've never seen any of them, so those are all just like whatever to me.
Oh my God. So, you know, now being an adult, I'm like, man, these movies are so corny and they're about like teenage love, forbidden love and stuff. But honestly, they're still so good.
Sure.
There's just kind of that popcorn aspect of like, yeah, I know this is a bad movie and it doesn't hold up, but like, it's just entertaining to watch.
Exactly.
Like I was in Vegas a couple of years back and Space Jam was on and I'm like, oh man. And all of us are like the same age. We're like, let's watch Space Jam. And it was just not a good movie. It did not hold up. But like I sat there and I watched the whole thing just because it's like that sort of nostalgia aspect of like, exactly. I remember when I thought this movie was good, when I had a bad opinion.
Exactly. And you remember how you felt about it before. And now you're like, why did I feel that way about this?
Yeah. And you're just like, I'm not going to admit publicly that I watched, well, I guess I am now, that I watched Space Jam in a hotel room in Vegas.
You're on tape now.
We already saw Blaze on camera a little bit, but someone actually asked LKW Artworks on Twitter, how's the corgi and what's his favorite toy?
Again, Blaze is doing great. He's almost 2. He'll be 2 in August, which is so crazy to me. He's honestly bigger than most corgis. Like he's like extra long.
He's huge. He's
so big, and we don't know how. But his parents were both really big. His dad is really big, but he's doing great. And you know, like I said, ball is life. It could be a soccer ball. It could be a squeaky ball. It could be a ball that's deflated. He doesn't care. He just loves balls are life. Like ball is life with him.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Dogs are a wonderful, wonderful thing.
They are.
They really are. Wee Lad wants to know, that's Wee Lad, what's your favorite place to eat in Atlanta?
Well, my mom just turned me on to this pasta. It's called Rasta pasta.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard of that place.
Oh my God, listen. It's fettuccine Alfredo with like jerk seasoning in it, and then it has oxtails on top.
Whoa.
When I tell you I've never tasted, even Diamante can attest to this, because she literally had a bite and started crying. Like, that's how good it was. Like, the flavor was something I had never had in my life, but I would eat it once a week if I could.
So we're headed back to we're heading back to Atlanta soon. So that's
get Rasta pasta.
Yeah, there might be a mass text like, hey, here's where we're going. Trust me. The oxtail is tear inducing.
Oh my goodness. You definitely have to try it. You have to.
Well, I don't eat animals, so I will let everyone else enjoy the oxtail and then just tell me all about it.
Okay.
I'm a big noodle fan though, so maybe we can.
Oh, I love noodles are my favorite. Like, I'm a pasta girl. I love noodles. Like, I can eat noodles however.
Are you more of like an Italian pasta or like a ramen type person?
Italian.
Good.
Italian
Good.
pasta.
This is why we're friends.
So where Where in Atlanta is Rasta Pasta? It's not a franchise, is it? It's just like one location.
No, it's like it's kind of like a hole in the wall. I think it's in the hood, honestly. My mom went to go pick it up. So I think it's like in Decatur, where I'm from, like kind of in the hood somewhere. I'm gonna find out and let y'all know.
Yeah, I mean, Tony lives in Atlanta, so he's.
Well, I definitely gotta let you know.
Yeah, if you live in Decatur, I kind of live the other side, northwest.
Okay.
Up in Cobb County. That's where
Okay,
I live.
I definitely gotta let you know where this place is. Once I find out, I'm gonna let you know.
Because it sounds great. It really does.
It is.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic name too, Rasta Pasta.
Oh,
Dope.
doesn't it sound like a party?
Great marketing. I'm just a big fan. Anyway, another fan question from Ref Aubrey. Who is your dream match at AEW?
AEW. So back in the day, I had a match against a Heidi Lovelace.
I think
Yes.
I know who that is.
And it was at AWE. And that match did not end the best. You know, she went for her top rope senton and knocked herself out.
Oh.
And we had to end the match. Like I that was the first time that it happened to me, and she was snoring with her eyes wide open. I will never forget it.
Oh my God.
And I feel like I definitely need a rematch with a Ruby Soho. Definitely.
Yes. You both have grown quite a bit since then, and I'm sure that would be an absolute banger.
Oh man, I know we would kill it. I just know it.
So one of my favorite things about being a ref is cleaning up all of the various hair that's left in the ring after it. And the dudes are just as bad as the girls. But like at the end of that match, there would be just a rainbow collection of like red and blue and orange and whatever she's feeling that day. My shit would be there. So you have some brunette in there. Like it would just be wild.
Oh my God, that would be so funny. You just have a hairball of rainbow hair.
Just like, oh, look at this. It's rainbow. Happy Pride,
Kiera
everyone.
was there, and Ruby, this piece of Ruby.
Yeah, we got a little velvet, like, whatever.
little jade hair in there.
We got green, we got silver, we got pink, whatever she's doing now.
Well, your blue hair is just absolutely wonderful, Kiera. I can tell you that.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, right here, it just pops right on our our screen here. It's just great
Thank
stuff.
you.
Really
I've been thinking about doing blue hair for a long time. Like before, when I had like red, orange, and yellow hair, I was like, one day I'm going to do blue flame hair. One day, but I'm going to wait for the right moment. And I was turning heel at Impact, and I was like, I think this is my moment. I think I'm going to go blue now. And blue is the hottest flame. Don't forget
there you
that.
Go.
That's why my hair is
super
blue.
Hot.
Because blue is the hottest flame, and that's why I went blue.
And that's on period.
You know what's up.
All right, Kiera, thank you very much. You can follow her on Instagram at Hogan Knows Best 18 and on Twitter at Hogan Knows Best 3.
Because she knows best.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You can listen and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted. Wherever you get your podcasts, it's absolutely free, Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever. And also we have the video version, which is on YouTube. Just search AEW Unrestricted.
Speaking of YouTube, you can find us on Dark Elevation and Dark, Mondays and Tuesdays, respectively. Dynamite on Wednesday on TBS at 8 o'clock, 7 Central. We've got Rampage Friday, 10 o'clock, 7 Pacific. That's when I actually watch it. Yeah, we're all over the place. We're all over, and you can see Hottest Flame hanging out with baddies, throwing popcorn at people behind my back. It's great. I'm Aubrey Edwards, along with Tony Schiavone. Thank you for listening to AEW Unrestricted.